Hello everyone, I'm ExxotikGaming, and welcome back to finally another Pixelgun 3D video. It's been quite some time since my last upload. It's been like, what, 4 or 5 days now? Before I actually get into today's video though, I do want to apologize for not uploading very frequently. This entire past week I've had a very important and very difficult practice AP Calculus exam, and I've been studying up a storm trying to do well for it. This test basically determines my grade for the entire semester, and it determines whether or not I get a massive scholarship to the college that I'm going to next school year. It's very important, but I do think it was worth the time studied. Anyways though, we're back, get hyped, because we are now better than ever. Because in today's video, we're going to take a look at the Impulse Minigun, which is a sick primary gun. It's one of the most requested ones of this update, and honestly, when I use this thing, it takes me back to the good old days of 2014 and 2015 Pixelgun 3D. So if you guys are excited for this video, make sure to slam that like button. Heck, leave a like for my epic return to uploading. Also, comment down below whatever gun you want to see me review next, and yeah, with that being said, guys, let's get right into this. Going into the armory section first, as we always do, and scrolling down to the placement of this weapon in the primary section, we can see, just by looking at it, that it would be a pretty popular gun. And indeed it is. This weapon is a grade of uncommon, which means a lot of people do have it. For some reason, Really Soft always lists the more popular weapons as common and uncommon. It's pretty much like every single weapon is uncommon and more, but I mean, still, that means a lot of people do have this weapon. And I mean, I can't blame them. It looks so cool. I mean, who wouldn't want to have this weapon? This weapon has an efficiency of 20, a 100 firing rate, which, by the way, is off. Do not take that too seriously. A 70 capacity, and a 120 mobility. I honestly think the best thing about this weapon is its capacity. I mean, it's a minigun, so that means this weapon is a true spray and pray weapon, where you can afford to miss a couple of your shots and still do very well against the enemy players. The reason why I said just earlier that you have to take that 100 firing rate with a grain of salt is I honestly think Really Soft just gives all the miniguns a 100 firing rate, regardless what they actually have, just to tempt people into buying the weapons. But in all honesty, this weapon is no different in terms of its firing rate to any of the other primary weapons that a lot of people do use, like the Marksman, the Hellraiser, the Secret Forces rifle, and weapons like that. As you guys will see when I do encounter somebody and I start firing at them, it will be all the same. So for right now, guys, we are in a Silent School match, which is one of the better maps for this weapon. Now, a lot of people would think, oh, this is a primary weapon, it's probably going to perform best in a medium-ranged map, maybe something like Paradise Resort, maybe something else. And the thing is, since this weapon doesn't have a scope, as you guys obviously can see here, and because of that, you're going to want to keep this weapon in some of the closer ranged maps because that is where the weapon is going to perform the best. You're going to have to get those headshots when you use this weapon, and that is how you're going to get a lot of kills when you use this weapon. However, one of the oddest things when I use this weapon is, it's actually something that may make or break the weapon for you, is there's this weird lag time from the time you spawn in to the time you're actually able to start firing your weapon. When you spawn in, you're not immediately able to fire your gun. You have like 2 or 3 seconds where you can't really do anything, and then the game allows you to fire your weapon. I don't know if that's the same for anybody, or just for me. Maybe my device is screwed up or something like that, but it's weird, because when I respawn, I'm not able to immediately fire my gun. I have to wait 2 or 3 seconds, and then it allows me to be able to fire, which may be a make or break thing for you, because a lot of the times you're going to spawn right into the middle of the action, and somebody's going to just end up killing you when you can't actually fire your weapon. So, this is a weapon which you can't really hold by itself. You're going to want to have something else with it. Maybe you can have your love spell or another weapon like that. You want to immediately switch over to that other weapon when you respawn, and then after 2 or 3 seconds, switch over back to the Impulse Minigun, and that way, you're going to be able to use that weapon. Hello, Dark Thief. But anyways, yeah, guys, this weapon looks absolutely sick. I love how this weapon looks. It is honestly one of the cooler looking primary weapons. I mean, I say that with a lot of the weapons, but it's really cool, guys, and I really do like the way that it looks when you're actually using it in first-person mode, because there are a lot of weapons which do look really cool in the shop menu, but then when you actually take them into actual battle, it's kind of disappointing, and that's not really the case with this weapon. When you use this weapon, it looks really cool, and I just feel cool when I use this thing, because, I mean, in all honesty, the way a weapon looks is very important for me. I mean, that's not the same with everybody. everybody else, which is another reason why I don't really base my reviews off of the way a weapon looks, and I don't rate a weapon based off of the way it looks. But for me personally, when I'm deciding a weapon, I can afford to, you know, subtract a couple of performance points to the way that it looks. I mean, if it looks cool, then, I mean, hey, all the more power to the weapon. But, I mean, that looks sick, guys, and it doesn't perform all that badly. It's definitely not the most powerful primary weapon by any means, but then again, it's not the most expensive one, and that's kind of what you would expect. You wouldn't expect something that's only half the price of the most powerful weapon to be double its power. You would expect some of the most powerful weapons in this game to be the weapons that are the most powerful. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. When you use this weapon, you're not going to obviously get as good of gameplay with this weapon as some of the other primary weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, but that doesn't mean this weapon isn't good. It is a very solid weapon, and if you can find a match where not every single person is using the Ghost Lantern and that gravity grade, I think it's called the Singular Grenade, and a lot of the other crazy overpowered weapons, like this match that I'm in right here, I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of people using very competitive weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, and because of that, I'm actually able to do a pretty good job against those enemy players. So you have to pick and choose when you're using this weapon, and I think there is a person that is hacking, so what I'm going to do is leave this match here and try to find something else where there isn't a hacker. It's a little unfortunate because I did finally find a match where there aren't too many people using Ghost Lanterns, and you guys will see now when I go into another match, there are probably going to be tons of Ghost Lantern users, and you're going to actually see how this weapon performs at the max armor level. So, I mean, it isn't the greatest weapon in terms of taking out max armored players, but it still is pretty good, and that's the most important part. It will get you those kills, and if you use this weapon alongside other weapons, it's going to perform very, very well. In all honesty, if you are a max level player, or pretty much a max level player, and you encounter a lot of adamant armored users, you're probably not going to want to use this the entire length of a match. You're going to want to pair this with something like the railgun, or other weapons like that, maybe the mercenary, other weapons in the melee section and stuff like that, and this is one of those true weapons where you really need to pair it with something else in the game, and that's where you're going to get your greatest gameplay when you use this weapon. I mean, I'm doing perfectly fine right now. I'm not doing the absolute greatest, for sure, but then again, that's just what you expect when you use this weapon. You can't really expect to take out a prototype user, you can't expect to take out a Ghost Lantern user, other weapons like that, because it's just, unfortunately, not really going to do too well against those weapons. But it can take out a lot of the other weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, and that is great. I love using this weapon though, guys. Even if I don't get the most amount of kills in the world, it's still great to use, and it is a lot of fun. So keep this weapon in close range, and you can be guaranteed to get a pretty decent amount of kills when you're using this weapon. I've gotten a decent amount of kills in this video so far, and I'm pretty happy with how the gameplay I've gotten so far has been. I mean, this is very similar to what you are going to get when you use this weapon. If you are at the top level brackets, you're not going to get massive multi-kills and ultra kills and stuff like that when you're using this weapon, because it's just not the most powerful primary weapon in the world. But it still is a lot of fun to use. I always love using the miniguns in Pixel Gun 3D, and it's great. It is your true spray and pray type weapon. When you use this weapon, you're able to miss your shots and still get kills. I mean, when I'm using this weapon, I'm not 100% accurate. I mean, you guys can tell that from the video, but I'm still able to get kills, and that is the most important part. I mean, it's great. Being able to use a weapon where you can just spray and pray and then just somehow get headshot after headshot after headshot is great, and I mean, it's just like other miniguns in Pixel Gun 3D. Your Icicle minigun, your Automatic Peacemaker, other weapons like that, so I really do enjoy it for that aspect. But I mean, is it going to take out your Ghost Lantern? Is it going to take out your Laser Bouncer, your Prototype, your other crazy overpowered weapons in Pixel Gun 3D? It's not, but then again, you can't expect every weapon in Pixel Gun 3D to do that. If every single weapon was able to take out the Ghost Lantern, then can you imagine how overpowered some of those weapons may be? I mean, I just have to hope there's nothing more powerful than that, but, I mean, it's probably inevitable Reallysoft is eventually going to add that in. But for right now, guys, very good, very solid weapon, a very good weapon to have if you are a medium-leveled player in Pixel Gun 3D, where you encounter some of those gold armored users, maybe some crystal armored users and stuff like that. You're going to really get some great gameplay against those armored users. if you're watching this video and you don't encounter a lot of Ghost Lanterns, you don't encounter a lot of those one-shot kill weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, and a majority of the people that you encounter are using weapons that actually require a lot of shots to kill, like something like the Marksman or something like that, then you're going to expect some pretty good gameplay when you use this weapon, and I would honestly recommend getting this thing if you do not have weapons like the minigun already, the automatic peacemaker already. In all honesty, is this the greatest minigun in Pixel Gun 3D? No, it's not. I mean, you're gonna have to say the automatic peacemaker and the icicle minigun are better than this weapon, but this weapon is a very formidable gun, and it definitely gives you some pretty good gameplay. I really do enjoy using it, and I mean, it's great. So, in all honesty, what's my total rating of this gun? If I was to rate this weapon between 1 and 10, at the max level bracket like I am in, it's probably a 6, I'd say. It's a solid 6, but then again, you'd have something like the Marksman be probably a 7.5 or something like that. The Icicle Minigun would be like an 8 to an 8.5, and the Automatic Peacemaker would be easily a 9 out of 10, but this is still a very solid gun, and I mean, hey, it's really up to you. Is this an absolute necessity in Pixel Gun 3D? No, it's not. You can do perfectly fine without this weapon. But is it a lot of fun to use? Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love using a minigun with a lot of capacity and something that you have room for error with a lot of just misses and still being able to get just kill after kill after kill? I mean, it's a lot of fun to just spray and pray when you're using a weapon once in a while. Because, in all honesty, when you're using weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, over time, it gets a little boring and stressful when you're using weapons that require the most precision in the world. I mean, you're going to have to use weapons constantly over and over again that are just the most accurate you could possibly find in this game. And over time, it kind of gets a little boring when you're using those types of weapons. So you might just want to sit back, relax, chill, and just use a more casual weapon like this once in a while. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is one of those weapons that really takes me back to 2014, 2015 Pixel Gun 3D. I mean, you have somebody like that who just can't use anything other than that. You have the Icicle Minigun versus this weapon, and I mean, hey, if the person is sitting there not doing anything, you can take them out, but if you're going head-to-head against the Icicle Minigun, yeah, it's going to be a little difficult to take them out at times. Now, like I said, this weapon takes me back to 2014, 2015. I remember in early 2015, the Impulse Sniper Rifle and the Assault Machine Gun were both introduced into this game, and in all honesty, the way this weapon performs, the way this weapon looks and stuff like that, I could honestly picture this weapon being introduced when those weapons were introduced. It feels like a weapon that should have been introduced in 2015, not 2017. If this weapon was introduced in 2015, it would be one of the better weapons in the primary section to this game, but unfortunately, since this weapon was introduced into the era of overpowered weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, late 2016, 2017, it's just unfortunately fallen behind. And I mean, if you took this weapon back 2 years ago, it would be a very solid gun that would be able to take out a lot of the players in this game that you encounter. It would arguably be one of those weapons where you could get a majority of wins when you used it in matches, but it's just a little unfortunate that this weapon has fallen behind compared to some of these other weapons in Pixel Gun 3D. I mean, if Pixel Gun 3D was all about the primary section, then this weapon would do a very good job at taking enemy players out. But unfortunately, we got the premium section, and you know how that goes. That's everybody's favorite section in Pixel Gun 3D, so the primary section, honestly, is kind of lacking in Pixel Gun 3D in a sense. But, I mean, hey, in all honesty, Really Soft is the only thing that can fix this game, make this weapon a little bit more even to some of the other guns in Pixel Gun 3D. In all honesty, all I want Really Soft to do is just buff the entire primary section in general, and then I would be a lot happier, because a majority of the weapons in this section are pretty underpowered. But, hey, I mean, Really Soft, if you're watching this, please do something about this. Guys, if you're watching this right now, please, like, share this video with Really Soft so they actually listen and do something about this, because I would love if this weapon was just a little bit more powerful than what it is right now. I'd love to be able to say, hey, this weapon is one where you can get wins and wins and wins, but for right now, unfortunately, I can't do that. So, for right now, at least the day that I'm uploading this, and for some time afterwards, I'd have to say don't get this weapon, but it's still a pretty cool weapon to use. And, I mean, I'm definitely going to be using this in future uploads. Definitely for a minigun gameplay 2.0. With that being said, guys, that's basically it. I did take quite some time already doing this video. I didn't realize how long this video has been, so I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, make sure to slam that like button down below, like I said. And, yeah, make sure to look forward to that next upload I'm going to be doing on my channel. If you guys have not checked out the video that I uploaded earlier today, then I highly recommend you guys to do so. If you have not done so, what are you even doing? I will link that video down below at the top of the description if you guys want. It was a great video, and yeah, with that being said, that's basically it. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys are new. Make sure to share this with Really Soft, like I said, for them to buff the primary weapons in this game, and that's basically it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.